to Conscious Community TV. I am your host, Brittany Hiller, and I'm here today with my special guest, Natasha Koo. And Natasha is the Women Tribe leader for Feminine Space, and as an ex-perfectionist, people pleaser, and conflict avoider, Natasha overcame low confidence, guilt, and self-sabotage. Ah, that's a good one. By trusting, loving, and caring for herself. Natasha leads transformative. Hi, Brittany. She leads transformative experiences and holds the sacred, supportive, and loving space for women at her Feminine Space online community. And we're going to get more into the online community later in this episode. So thank you, Natasha, so much for joining me. I super appreciate you being here, and I'm excited to start the conversation. How are you?
Same here. I'm really excited, and yeah, I can't wait.
Yay! Awesome. Well, my first question for you is, when did you, if you have a little story around this, when did you realize that you needed to live life with purpose?
So I would say that at least for career-wise, I knew that I wanted to do something meaningful because when I first started university, I actually studied environment and business, and I was that really naive girl who, first day in class, I would sit down to someone from university and be like, "Oh, and why are you in this program?" Thinking that everyone else wanted to save the world just like I did. And I would get answers like, because there's no math that I have to do or no math courses in this program. And I just thought, what am I getting myself into? And so this kind of naive thinking of, oh, everyone's here and everyone's gonna, save the world with me, that kind of faded away by day two after I realized that people also weren't there for the same reasons I was. So because I kind of had this fire inside of me, and at first I really, really so cared about the environment, it led to, as I graduated, a bit of a struggle to find work that worked for me because I really wanted to work for a company that aligned with my values, and I was always searching for that right job. But I guess over time, even though I really love the environment and I do want to do good, the universe just kept kind of pushing me in a different direction, and rather jobs that I don't like or difficulty finding the right organizations. And then at some point life just goes, all right, I'm gonna give you no job. I got fired from a job because that was my last job, actually. I got fired because my employer no longer paid anyone. The moment I arrived, he was paying before I arrived, and he's like, oh, no. So anyways, so through all this, at least at the beginning, it was a career type of awareness that I do want purpose, at least for my career. But then over time it turns into something more, and I guess at the point now, if I do have my own business, then it's not so much a career thing, it's more a lifestyle thing. So it's a part of me, and that purpose has grown into something more than just career and what do I want to do for work.
Yes, exactly. And then that also helps us because, a lot of people, they'll sit there and they'll just define themselves on what it is that they do for their work. But when we have our purpose-driven entrepreneurial lifestyle, it's more of like, oh, well, I live my life, and this is what I do for fun, as opposed to, this is who I am, and here's what I do for a living. In reality, the conversation gets so much more in-depth and personal when we talk about what it is that we do for fun and with purpose. So that's fabulous. And that is so funny, too, if you think about it, like, the universe has its way of doing that, pushing us and pushing us and pushing us.
Yeah.
I am such a dedicated employee that I needed to be that way as well. I needed to be kicked out. So people had to fire me. They had to be like, Brittany, it's time to go. Fledgling, get out of here.
Yeah.
In order to finally realize what my purpose was. And so I totally vibe with that situation. We all need it somewhere, right?
Yeah. And the signs can be really strange because it was only when I got fired that I had space for the ideas in my head to be realized. So sometimes the way is to have such a drastic change and something which we really can't control, and then we have to fill it with what's important in the moment, and then sometimes that's when an idea really grows, or when a part of us maybe that we were neglecting or suppressing, then it kind of goes into full bloom just because we have that space and time to dedicate to it. At least that's what happened to me. Yeah.
No, I totally feel you on that for sure. And it's just like, it's amazing when that actually unfolds though, and when we really allow the ideas to be more than just ideas and start to take action on them. Can be pretty
Hmm.
powerful. So my next question for you is, what does living consciously mean to you?
Hmm. Well, to me, I remember when did I read this quote? It was talking about how existing is something that is everywhere, but actually living, that is something rare. So to me, it's about not just existing, but fully living. And for me personally, it has a lot also to do with listening, and not just for my ears, but actually feeling what's going on, both inside of me and in the outside world and in others. And I have to say that, say, compared to my younger self, right? To when, like a few years ago, when I was less conscious or aware, whatever you want to call it, I was blocked off from myself. And that's what I mean by listening, because, we go through certain experiences, and sometimes we, at that time, learn, oh, it's better to close off, or it's better to keep myself safe. And then you kind of had this mechanism. And I have to say that I was both blocked off relatively from my body. So I wasn't really like letting myself accept this body and also the full connection to it. Like even just rubbing my hand or something really gently and with love would be like, why would I ever do
Right.
that? and so and so it's definitely a step-by-step process of diving deep inside and also listening to what's needed now. So I feel like being conscious is living and embodying everything that's here and not neglecting or any ignoring any part of myself.
Awesome. Very cool. And you are the embodiment of like self-love, and that's what you bring to your clients, and that's what you help to allow them to envision and realize in their life. When did you have that moment in time that you were like, I'm going to just love myself?
I have to say that it was definitely a progression, and I knew that there were a lot of critical voices in my head, that's for sure. And growing up, I was grown up in this kind of very Asian parental style, where it's a lot of criticism, a lot of not good enough in order to push the child to this, I don't know, maybe number one or having A's for school.
Yeah.
So it's a lot based on what can be improved as opposed to what's already right. So I always felt like what is right about me. I couldn't quite put my finger on it. So if you ask me back then, like, what do you love about yourself versus what do you not like about yourself, I would have such a huge list for not liking. And but with that kind of belief in mind, going through life is makes it difficult because you doubt yourself more, you don't really trust what you're doing, and even when the universe is kind of handing you a lot of goodness, you still question it and you're more hesitant to receive because you're like, are you sure it's for me? Like me?
Right.
Like, what, are you sure I'm worthy of this?
That's
Like,
when
this
we try
makes
to
me
find
feel
that validation.
uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Exactly. So you're like, I don't know. But that all comes from that belief. So, but, with more and more experiences back then, it got to a point, and I really have to say it was a time when I was at a hairdresser with my husband, and I went there along with him. He was getting a haircut, I wasn't. But we were gonna ask about my perm because I permed it and it's getting flatter and flatter. And I was like, okay, let's figure out how to, make it stay. And the hairdresser, introduced this line of, those salon grade hair products. So I was
Yes.
like, oh, geez, this is not what I want. I do not want to spend like $200 on just four products. So I, at the time, also was unable to express myself. Like with this whole questioning and everything of myself, I also did not value like my needs, my desires. So that made it super difficult to even say what I wanted. So I was doing this winking dance and trying to telepathically tell my husband, don't buy it for me, because I couldn't bring myself to tell him I don't want it. I couldn't. Like it's like I didn't respect myself enough to bring those words to life and be like, stand up for yourself. No, I do not want it. And I was also really afraid to kind of like or else how would I say guilty. Yeah, I was feeling guilty for the hairdresser that he was asking me to buy it, and I didn't want to say no.
Right.
So I walked away thinking, okay, I hope my husband got the message. I hope he understood what I was trying to say.
Yeah.
And then in the end, he bought it for me, and I got so angry. And that was like the moment where like self-sabotage became so huge that I, even within the situation, was thinking, this is out of proportion. I don't know why I'm resisting this so much. I don't know why I'm getting so angry at someone who wants something good for me. So that was when, like, what am I doing? And why is this happening? That was so crazy. And I have to say that it really helped to have my husband in this situation because you realize that you project it onto all your relationships. And he was just like, "Why are you crying?" Like he was so shocked when he came home and I was crying and being really angry at him because he came from a good place.
Yeah.
So like these clashes of reality really brought to light that okay, something is not working and it seems to be just too much. Something is going on that's not right. So that was like, okay, the moment where I thought, what is this self hate? What is this self sabotage? So I took a look at it because I couldn't ignore it anymore. It was ridiculous.
Yeah. So, what was your first step to getting into that more self love, you know, relationship? I guess.
hmm Well, I started to realize that this was not new. So one of it was to realize that this was a pattern and that they're not just situations in life that's happening to me, that there's something going on inside that's triggering always this similar, I guess, response.
Hmm.
So if there's abundance or something is going on the outside giving me something or anything to do with receiving, there's a big struggle. So the first was to kind of look at this is nothing new and to recognize how like the little lines, the little events in my life, how they all connected and they felt so similar and almost like the same thing repeating but with different people at different times. And from there I just I guess a lot of it had to do with guilt. And for the first time, I actually reached out to someone for help. It was a hypnotherapist,
Okay.
and
Yeah.
he helped me with guilt. And to me, it was so difficult. I was thinking, if I reach out, that means something's wrong with me. I can't tell someone else possibly my problems, or oh, and all the unworthiness. Like, I don't think I deserve to see anybody or actually talk to someone about it. So
Yeah.
it was a huge step to step out and to start speaking about what's going on. But I think the moment I make it real, like I can do something about this, I can reach out to someone and speak to them, it starts to change. Like something goes on inside and it says, hey, you do want help, it's there, let's get you the support. And then you begin to see more places where you can get support and help and start to transform. But it needs that first step, and that first step was hard, especially reaching out to someone.
Oh yeah, definitely, absolutely. Because you're right. I mean, it makes it more real, and you have all of those thoughts in your head of like, well, actually seeing someone. What are people going to think about me? And
Yeah.
it's that's that main step of self love. Like, I don't care what those people are going to think about me. I know what I need to do for myself, and for myself,
hmm
this is going to be really, really good for me, and that's all that
Yeah.
matters. So
Yeah. Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you said it right there. Like at some point, how much we value ourselves, and that love for ourselves exceeds the doubt and exceeds the, what do people think of us and all these type of thoughts, and you just make the decision. You know what? That's it. I'm worth it.
Yeah.
I've had enough, and then you kind of go for it.
Yeah, we love to give other people so much power, right? Like it's their opinions of me are going to be so much more than my opinion of myself. And
Yeah.
it's like, when did that happen?
Yeah.
I think around age 7. That's my opinion. I think around age 7. So I have one more question. Do you have anything for our viewers today to help them understand how to live in self-love and more awake in the world?
hmm Well, first thing, I have lots of freebies, but I just want to share something that's really practical, like right now. And I have to say it links with what I experienced because I can only share with you what I have gone through and what's worked for me. And I have to say that at the beginning there was a lot of fear, like fear of speaking up, fear of receiving, fear of having too much attention, just a lot of hesitancy and wanting to hide. But another really major event that the more I tapped into and the more I went for it, the stronger I felt and the more healing could happen. And that was actually allowing myself to feel what's going on. Because I know that when things get frustrating, when things get stressful or overwhelming, we start to numb and we don't even realize we're doing it. We start to kind of even lower the sensations of what's going on. And that makes it to feel what's going on maybe a little bit harder, but tap into it gently. And I know that at the beginning it can be uncomfortable, but that doesn't mean that it will hurt you. And I think that we sometimes really fear our emotions. Like, what if I open the jar? What will come out? Maybe a really scary monster, or
Right.
it's just like, no, I don't want to go there. What if tears come out of my eyes? And I just want to say, yes, it's uncomfortable, but uncomfortable doesn't mean that it will hurt you or that emotions are there to hurt you. It's actually there to, let you feel what's going on so that you can let the healing happen. So that's the major thing that I do want to share because sometimes we go, ooh, do not feel too much, but
Yeah.
go at it gently and then emotions are there to help. So I really want to share that.
Awesome. And we do have a freemium from you, too. Can you tell us a little bit about it just so that they know what they're signing up for and expecting?
Yeah, absolutely. So I have a 21-day self-love challenge or journey, if you want to call it. And I am going to send you every day a super short exercise, so like 5 to 10 minutes. And you just go through layer by layer what's going on, the relationship with yourself, or you connect with your inner child, or you connect with your heart desires. So lots of exercises and meditations too to kind of go deeper and deeper because the reason I did it, I thought, when was the last time we spent 3 weeks in a row, every day, just even a little bit of time for ourselves? And I thought, gotta do it and just share it. So it's free and it's there for you. And also, what I really love is that I have that freebie, but I want to make you feel that you are supported and you're not doing it alone. So you can also share your progress, your answers to the questions in the Facebook group. So that's femininetribe.com. So you're supported both, in your own process and also there are ladies there to help you too.
Sweet. That's
Yeah.
awesome. It sounds fascinating, and you're right. I mean, like 21 days, really just putting it succinctly and keeping it small. It's right there. It's in your email. You might as well just read it anyway because
Yep.
it's a good positive email as opposed to just like, what's the next sale or where can
Yeah.
how can we get
Yeah.
something from you? No, it's more about bringing yourself up into your most highest and greatest good. So thank you so
Hmm.
much for offering that special to all of our viewers. And do you have one last thing you'd like to say for our viewers before we close out?
Oh, yeah, let's do something
Okay.
because when I was really young, I never realized my potential. Like I could only see myself for that person who, I accepted or didn't accept at the time, right? I saw the flaws and I thought this is me now and this is
Right.
who I'm gonna be. And you feel like that relationship with yourself will stay that way. Like this is me. This is who I'm
This
stuck
is who
with.
I am.
And then, but then I just kind of want to ask the viewers, who do you want to be and what do you think is there, right? Just for even just 1 minute, forget who you think you are and feel into who you want to be, how you want to feel, and what's really possible for you in this life. Because we have these amazing people doing all sorts of things, and I think it's more and more possible to achieve our dreams with all the information and the tools and the connections that we have now. So, with that in mind, like think from the world down and then think of yourself and think, what do I want and what's possible here? So, just play with envisioning what can happen for you in this life. I think that's exciting.
Yeah, absolutely exciting. And I would love to, for the viewers that are watching, feel free to leave a comment at the bottom of this blog. Tell us what it is
Yes.
that you want to be. And know truth that there are no limitations. The limitations
Mm.
are what we bring about within ourselves and what we listen to other people and our, what I love to say, the monkey mind, right? Or our big people for that matter,
Mhm.
tell us who we are and what we should be. And listening to those shoulds and instead really taking Natasha's advice and really hone in on who do you want to be? Who do you want to be? Yeah, that's fabulous, Natasha. Thank you so much for popping in and allowing us to have this time with you and sharing your story of self-love and what it means to be awake in this awesome, awesome world.
Yes, and I'm going to be awake just a few more hours
Yeah.
compared to you since it's later here.
Enjoy Switzerland. It sounds beautiful.
No, but thank you so much for having me. And it's an amazing work that you're doing now. And I think stories are really valuable and everything you live, that's unique. And yeah, we're all so special. It reminds me of how special we are and how blessed and lucky we are to be here.
Oh, yes,
Mm.
definitely. Well, thank you, thank you, thank you so much, Natasha. Thank you, viewers. And we hope that you guys have a fantastic day. We'll see you again on Conscious Community TV. Bye bye.